about a year ago. We were not able to have this, we are late. But now we are, can you hear me? Okay. So this is Mr. Irfan Desai, who's been the contractor for us of Eureka Enterprises. He's a well acclaimed fire specialist. He's part of the fire advisory committee also. So we have given him, and he's done a lot of buildings in this area. So this is a sort of a demo for our staff and us both. We both need to know what to do in case of a fire and not. So this is what he's going to do. He's going to explain systems that are in place on site. We will operate some of the systems and show us and tell us what is needed of an electrician and a plumber, as I understood, will be needed to come in case of a fire. So we need to have somebody nearby, standby for these operations. Luckily we have a generator, which is a lot of buildings don't have. So we have a backup system in terms of power. So that can help us. So keeping that in mind, just give us a... I'm going in there. Come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, fire safety program, this is the topic which we are going to discuss today, which is relevant and a very, very important topic for residential buildings. Demonstration comes at the later stage. Fire safety program is important because it helps the building occupants in physical safety and reduction in your property loss. These are the two factors which the building occupants require in case of fire. You have firefighters, you have fire brigade who can come and do, but of course containment of fire is important during fire incidents. So, as I said, physical safety and reduce in property loss, these are the two factors which you have to concentrate on, because that is what is required for building residential people. For physical safety, the main features, the factors are quick decision, very important. Second, emergency communication. The way we are communicating now and emergency communication, there are two different things. And third is containment of fire. So three important things for physical safety: emergency communication and quick decision. Quick decision is very, very, very important, underlined red, because in any emergency, a normal human being tends to get nervous, and with the fear, his mind gets blocked. You are unable to think, and in doing so, you take certain actions which might be disastrous for yourself. So you have to pre-condition yourself in taking quick decision. So for quick decision, there are two important things which you should remember. Number one is evacuation. Important part is evacuation. When there is fire, you are looking to evacuate the building. And second is extinguishing the fire. Two things we should learn for residential building. For evacuation, you have to see that you evacuate the building, and while emergency evacuation, you have to remember the acronym RACE. So quick decision, you have to just remember RACE, RACE. I have already given this. I have made these booklets. I don't know whether it will be sufficient for this. Where is the manager? ये सबको देना. In case कम पड़ेगा तो फिर Xerox लेना. एक सबको copy देना. It's everything is mentioned there for your reference. So RACE is the acronymy you should remember during quick decision. Okay. So I was speaking about quick decision, and that is the acronymy you should remember is RACE. RACE. Now what does RACE stands for? R denotes rescue. If there are people who are unable to walk, children, old ladies, they should be rescued. They should be helped to come out of the building. In case you cannot do that, ask for somebody else's help. So R stands for rescue. A stands for raising an alarm. You have an alarm, you have a manual call point alarm system in your building. It's a red button where you have to break the button and press the button so that an alarm will be raised, and in this panel out here, it will denote what floor you are getting an alarm from, so that the security or whoever is there, they will come to rescue you. It's here, it's here. We'll demonstrate the panel out here, the red color panel at the top. E denotes evacuation, and C denotes confinement of fire, and E denotes evacuation. RACE. You have to remember this word RACE during emergency evacuation. So what do you do in case you hear an alarm? The moment you hear an alarm, you come out of your flat, close your doors and windows, confine fire there. After you come out of the flat, just outside your flat, on the staircase, you have this red button. Break that button, raise an alarm. Do not escape without raising an alarm, so that other people in the vicinity also know that there is something wrong with. And then you evacuate. And in case you can confine fire by using a fire extinguisher, which you have on every floor, you should use this fire extinguisher. Now, how to operate this fire extinguisher, we will demonstrate at a later stage. Later, after that, emergency communication. You see, emergency communication is very important for every emergency services. Army, if you say Army, Navy, Air Force, they all communicate with certain dialects. They do not communicate in full sentence or word. Similarly, in fire situation, there are certain things where you have to understand during emergency communication, which we will come at a later stage, because I don't think so with this type of a program, first program, we are going to complete everything. We have to have such programs at least once in 6 months. We can take step by step. Now, emergency communication itself will take a total 2-hour program. You get my point? So, first I am giving you a nutshell of what is required, and I think we can then conclude by having such programs very often. We have been doing this in a building called Sarnath for the past 10 years. And they are hopefully very well versed with the fire situation. In case there was a fire in the recent time, and without the fire brigade's help, they were able to contain the fire. Your neighbors, Sarnath. We have been conducting such drills in Surya building. So, what I said was emergency communication. For emergency communication, there are 5 points. 5 points. Now, what is first point is identify key persons. During an emergency, you should have one person with whom you can talk. And who is that person? The person in the society can be the premises manager, he can be the security officer, he can be the chairman, the secretary. His telephone numbers, his contact numbers should be with every building occupant, they should know. Number one. Number two, anticipate what fire department what information the fire department would require when they arrive at the fire scene. So what are the information the fire department would require? The fire officers and the firemen were not familiar with your building structure. So what they require, they would require the location of the pumps, the location of the alarms, the location of the your lift, the location of your main switch area, and other areas which we should inform them. Now to inform them, it is definitely going to take time. And I said emergency communication is a communication where we communicate with few words to the point. So what we do is we make a building chart. It's a building chart in which the name of the building, the number of floors, number of flats and number of people living in the building, the equipments are there, what is the capacity of your pumps, what is the capacity of your, all this information is given in that chart. Okay, yeah. All the information is given in the chart. So when you put the chart, display the chart on in the society office or at the fire officer will come and read that. And there's going to be a plan also where they will find out. You're going to save a lot of time for the firefighting operations to start. It's very important. Then keep the staff informed. That is by having these programs very often. We have a program for the security on firefighting operations. We have program for your housekeeping, for fire safety. They have to go around and see whether there are any dump material which is dumped, whether the staircase area is free or it is congested. All these things have to be done on day-to-day basis. Then communication with media. When there is fire and media might come in, and communicating with media is very important. So what is important for communication with media is assign a spokesperson for the media. The person from your building should be assigned. Second, stick to clear and consistent true message. Third, never invent details. Fourth, maintain privacy in involving emergency. That's very important. Maintain privacy. Do not reveal everything. You have to maintain privacy and talk about only what the fire situation was, what is the causes of fire situation, and what you have been doing about it. And monitor messaging to correct misstated information. Finally, it is resolving the emergency. Once the fire is there, fire brigade comes in, firefighting operations begin, fire is extinguished. After that, how we have to regroup, we have to re-enter the building. That is important. Do not enter any building after the fire has stopped, unless the fire officer confirms that it is safe to go in. Because there are few incidents where firefighting operations was successfully completed, but in some areas there was still some heat which was still there. And because of that heat, slowly took place, and after about few hours the fire again reignited. So confirmation of fire department is important before you enter the building again. So this is emergency evacuation. So this is basically a nutshell which we have told you, which is already mentioned in your booklets. So we start off with fire safety planning. Next step is to plan. Every building should have a fire safety plan. Yes?
One question is coming to my mind.
We can take it later on, na question answer session. Okay, go ahead.
Can we call you? See, there is a fire brigade, police come, everybody is come. Can we dial your number and ask you, sir, abhi kya kare hum?
When there is fire brigade, I have no authority to tell them. They are the
Because see, if we get the number, suppose
Yeah.
something happens, can I call you, sir?
Yeah.
सवाल पूछ रहा है,
See, वो सवाल पूछ रहा है तो ठीक है, that's nothing there, nothing big deal about it. If fire is fire, it happens to everybody, it's an accident. So there's nothing crime that your building is on fire, there's nothing of a big deal about it. Yeah. Yeah, you wanted to ask something? Okay. So fire safety plan, very, very important for every building. So we start off our drills, fire drills, with the inception, with the formation of a fire safety plan. To begin with fire safety plan, what we do is we have to first recruit emergency team. Every building should have an emergency team, dedicated emergency team. We have it at Sarnath, we have it at Surya Apartments. The emergency team will comprise of 4 divisions. Number 1, firefighting team. Number 2, rescue team. Number 3, evacuation team. And number 4 is reception team. Firefighting, rescue, fire safety, and reception team. So the firefighting team will primarily be responsible for firefighting. They have to use the fire hydrants, fire alarm, extinguishers, and so. For you, the important matter is evacuation and confinement of fire, use of fire extinguisher. Only 2 things. And use of hose reel. If you see behind, you have a fire hydrant, you have a main hydrant down, which is about 2.5 inch in dia, and you have a hose reel system. Never use that fire hydrant valve because it is meant for fire brigade. The pressure is about 300 psi. You won't be able to handle that force. The hose reel which is there, hose reel खींच, Ganesh, hose reel लेके, हाँ, लेके आ, इधर तक लेके आ. It's very simple. The moment you open the valve, you have this, Guma. Here you will get jet, here you will get spray. There are different things which you can use. And this is what you should use. We will demonstrate later on. Second is emergency evacuation plan. An emergency evacuation plan, as I told you, is a layout plan of every floor in which the staircase, the flats, the lift, the fire hydrant position, the position of the fire extinguisher is mentioned on every floor. And once they come down, so this plan is necessary for every building. Emergency evacuation plan to be posted on every floor. Number 1. And here on the ground floor, it is the area where you give the location of the building, the location of car parking, where you have hydrants, where you have office, where you have those, behind you have those electrical equipments kept. All these things is required to be mentioned in your evacuation plan. Third is assembly points. Now in this building, when you are evacuating, there has to be certain order. All the entire members of the building should not be collected at one position. They should be distributed among the buildings. So you have assembly points. So you have assembly point from flat number from first floor to third floor. From fourth floor to you distribute the assembly points so that you go to your particular assembly point and you stand there, wait there. Third is display of signboards. What to do in case of fire? Do not use lifts. Put off the electrical circuit. Grounding of the lifts. This display of signboards is important. And fourth is building data, which I told you already, that you have a building data with all the information of the building used for fire department. So with these things intact, you are good to go further. If you have intact, everything is trained, you are good to handle any fire situation in the building. Now, how important is this fire safety program? In actual practices, there have been research which has been conducted, and that is this chart. Progression of fire. When fire starts in any building, it starts with a small spark and then it starts growing. That is known as smoldering. It keeps on smoldering, and the material keeps on burning, and the heat keeps on rising. So after a certain period, see, fire has an exponential growth. It grows every minute. It doubles every minute. So the moment heat starts generating, the heat at that place is so much that the fire explodes, the fire grows. So here, this is important to understand why these fire drills are very, very essential. And see, when does the firefighting starts? It starts at a very late stage. Here, fire is ignited. It may be a lift machine room, it may be any room. Fire ignites. Once the fire is ignited, the alarms will take certain time to detect, isn't it? So fire is detected. Certain period is elapsed. No firefighting operations have yet begun. Now, once the fire is detected, you are going to call the fire department. So again, fire detected, calling the fire department, some period of time has elapsed. So here, from fire ignited to fire respond, certain period has elapsed. Fire brigade respond, fire brigade arrives. Again, it takes certain time. Now that depends on your road situation, your other situation, the fire brigade arrives. See, so much of time has gone, dispatch time, travel time. So much of time has elapsed, firefighting operation has not yet begun. Now this is a hypothetical situation where building does not have a fire safety program. I am giving a hypothetical situation. Fire brigade arrives, fire suppressed. Now after fire brigade arrives, they will take time to lay down their hose reels, they will make their circle, they will install their command post, and after that firefighting operation starts. So you see, from here to here, fire has grown, and it has grown. Next, it has grown so much, and at that time firefighting operation starts. And if this situation is observed in a building, your drills, your evacuation plan, your evacuation, your using of extinguisher does not make any sense. Because of that heat, you cannot use an extinguisher at that time. You have to use that hose reel which the fire brigade use. So the point here I am trying to make is, fire safety program is essential, very, very essential for the building people to take it very seriously. And it should be conducted once in 6 months. At least once in 6 months. So that people are aware. And in these fire drills, it is divided. For building residents, it is evacuation. How do we do the drills? What we do is, we say, okay, from 10th floor onwards, we will raise an alarm. When the alarm is heard, the people from 10th floor onwards will evacuate using the staircase. We will time up how much time they will take to come down. Now, while evacuation also, there is a method. Now, what happens is there is a staircase, it's graded down. Now, when you are walking downwards using the staircase, there is a sense of rhythm in every human being. There is a sense of rhythm. When you are using the staircase, the first step you take down, after some time you land at that thing, your mind is recorded. Then next. So you don't see where you are stepping down. You automatically knows. But then what happens is, suppose the distance is more somewhere. Get my point? If the distance is more, so the step taken down will be more, and there you will fumble and you might fall down. This is important. Did you understand what I said? So what happens is you have to go down by buddy system. Aja, the person in front will start moving downwards. The person behind will all hold his shoulder. They will put their, we are like this. We'll put our weight on that so that his feet is firmly on the ground. Even if he fumbles, he will not fall. And that way we can all come down. This is the drill which is required for you people. Right? Next. Firefighting team for security, or anybody in the building, young guys who can vouch for taking responsibility. Use of fire hydrant, that drills which is usually carried out every time. They use the fire hydrant, they use fire extinguisher and other thing. Rescue team will be basically for getting the people down, the old and getting the people down, putting them at a certain thing, calling the doctors or anybody, this. And finally, you have reception team. You have reception team. Now, what is reception team? After you call the fire department, the fire brigade will arrive, but they don't know the area. So to save time, we should have a reception team holding a placard with fire written on it. 2 people will go to the main road. One will face on one side, other will face on other side. They're holding this placard like we do it in the airports for reception. So they will hold this card, and when the fire brigade arrives, they know that. So here again you save time. So reception team, when they come, they will call the fire brigade, they will take them to the building data sheet, they will read the thing, and then they will take actions. Right? So here, see, as I told you about this fire growth, here I'll tell you. Here, fire takes place, smoldering, it is growing. The temperature is more or less the same. But after a certain time, when the heat generated is more, generally, if it's more than 50 British thermal unit, ignition takes place. So here the temperature rises within fraction of some minutes. So that is known as critical point. And after that, it spreads to the other building. It is known as uncontrolled fire. So the firefighting operations should be between A and C. So when you have fire safety program intact in the building, you are able to contain fire between A and C. You don't allow the fire to grow. So you are saving, physical safety is intact, your property, reduction of property life is there. So fire safety program is important. Yes, and next thing is using of extinguishers. This is also important. As I told you, one is evacuation for your drills and second use of this fire extinguisher. Now how we use this fire extinguisher is by acronymy. Remember the acronymy PASS. PASS for evacuation race. RACE. Now what is PASS? इसको खोल. Extinguisher. एक दिखा, एक round लेके जा. There is a safety clip. Safety clip, you have to pull that safety clip. Pull. यहाँ पे एक दिखाओ. Wait, pull the safety clip. You pull the safety clip. That is P. A is aim. Aim this at the bottom of the fire, not at the top, at the bottom where the actual fire takes place on the combustible material, at the bottom. A. S, squeeze this. And second S is sweep. This way you take care of small fires. We are definitely going to demonstrate this right away for you. We will actually demonstrate and then we want anybody of you who would like to take a try, they are welcome to do so. Okay? Is there any questions so far? Yes, all fire, electrical fire, yeah, this is ABC. This is ABC. It's carbon, yes, there is a gas. What happens is it's got a powder, sodium carbonate or carbon carbonate. Now here, there is a powder and there is total gas which is filled in the cylinder and the powder is actually moving around in the gas. So what happens is gas will act as an expellent. It will give the throw, it will take the powder and it will throw and that's how it is used.
But what if the fire is on a lower floor and the people staying on higher floors? How will they get down the steps then? Supposing in third floor there is a fire.
Yes.
So
How big is the fire?
so that depends. If there is a fire, how to get down the steps?
If there is fire, you use an extinguisher, madam.
That is there.
Yeah.
What if the fire is spread? There's no other way. Then we have to wait for the.
That's why I said no. Fire safety program is relevant. It is important. When there is fire, the fire will be detected. You have an alarm system intact in the building. You have an alarm system basically for that. So that, yes, so that fire,
You can get down.
absolutely right. The fire can be detected easily. And secondly, for evacuation, it is not necessary for everybody to evacuate. Now, for example, the fire is on the 6th floor. So what happens is 2 floors above, 6th floor, 7th floor, 8th floor and 5th floor. Only these many people can come down. The remaining they should remain there and the fire alarm will be activated only on these floors, not on the other floors. This will come during an evacuation drill. These are details. That's why I said today I have basically covered in nutshell what you should understand. First you should know what you have to understand and why you have to understand. And then we go ahead with step by step detailing program. So this is what it is. Any other questions?
Sir, one request.
Yes, ma'am.
In your staff, can you help us for the emergency evacuation plan or a map of our village?
Yes. So for
You
that,
can help, like,
no,
you know,
that I can help you out.
yeah. We can
For
make a map
evacuation
and-
plan,
Yeah.
what I require is, I require your building plans,
Yeah.
your floor plans. If you have an architect, if you have a draftsman, we will point out all the things and what is required and then you can make. And this should be made on a plastic sheet, acrylic sheet.
Yeah.
big acrylic sheet on every floor, and it should be posted near the lift, and below you should have those signboards, do not use lift in case of fire.
Yes.
Number one. Number two, near the ground floor, kindly ground the lift. You have a fireman switch on every near the thing. That fireman switch should be put off. The moment you put off the fireman switch, even if the lift is operational, it will stop at that floor and it will come down. So that grounding of fire lift and all these things is important before the fire department comes. So you have made all preparatory arrangement for the firefighting operations to take place. Yes, ma'am.
So coming back to her question, the answer is not very clear.
I beg your pardon?
Coming back to her question, the answer is not very clear. What kind of fires can we use this extinguisher?
All fires, electrical fires, gas fires, petroleum fires, all fires. It can be used in a kitchen also.
Sir, one question.
Yes.
Suppose in panic, I run towards terrace, not going down. I am panic.
Huh.
There's a fire. I get scared. I run ulta. So I can go to terrace.
Yes.
I'll be saved.
Yes. Yes.
So because the alarm is.
Yes.
I am panic.
Yes.
खबर गया घबराहट में मैं नीचे के बदले ऊपर चले गया.
Yes, you
Terrace पे
can.
जाना
Yes,
सही है.
yes, you
बिल्कुल
can.
सही.
Yes,
बचूंगा.
yes.
Right.
That will be like your refuge areas. Today, in the buildings, you have refuge areas on every floor. So, if that can be used as a refuge area.
The
Yes.
ARD which we have in the lift takes it to the next floor, it doesn't ground it. We've got an ARD installed in
Huh.
all the lifts.
Huh.
In case of a fire, then you shut it down, the electricity. It goes to the next floor and stops.
Huh.
Either down or up.
Huh. It will come down. The fire switch will compel the lift to come down and ground.
Fire switch in the lift.
Outside the lift, you have a board.
You're talking about the ground floor.
Ground floor. It's only on the ground floor.
That has
It's
to be got to the security guys.
it's only on the ground floor.
So the security guys have to be incorporated. They're the first guys who will respond.
That has to be tested. I think we are testing that. We are testing that. But suppose it's not our duty. It's the lift people. They should do that.
No, but the thing is that who will do it?
What?
Who will open and ground the lift at the time?
The security. That's why I said the emergency team. So the emergency team which we are going to appoint, there will be duties which will be distributed to them.
Most of the time, what we have observed, the fires are in the night. For some reason or the other, when everyone's sleeping. At that point in time, it's only these guys that need to be trained. And they are not there continuously, they keep changing. So how do you deal with that? So they go to Gaon, that fellow's not there, this fellow's there. That keeps happening.
That is.
That's why we need to be involved.
That I am not. That is not my. I can't tell you anything on that
What you're
matter.
saying is
It's your policy how you do it, or you appoint somebody as a fireman or somebody on a permanent basis to look after this thing.
And that guy also is not permanent because you need 2 shifts. So all that adds to the expense.
So that is. I don't think I can say anything on that matter.
Alright, okay.
The thing is that you require manpower.
Yeah, so what you're saying is this is good on paper, but in actuality we have to have dedicated staff.
Yes.
All awareness among members. All awareness among members. All members should be educated.
So what I would like to do is.
Somebody on the first floor has to come down and
So what I would like to suggest is, from tomorrow onwards, number one, if you can make an allotment, I'll definitely be with the manager, sit down in his office and make a plan. Start with appointment of emergency firefighting team. Now you have to decide who should be responsible for such operations.
permanent members in the
Yeah, they can also.
So during the day, the guys are all working, so then we'll have to train out ladies.
So that's why I said, na, yeah, that's.
Yeah, when the guys are there, they can.
So that's why I said you require 2 people.
In the building, you'll have
You require 2 people. One
Yeah, but
people
whoever,
protect.
whoever is appointed may not,
You're increasing your cost and maintenance with 2 people.
because whoever is appointed may
I
have
have a
stepped
very
out at
stupid
that time.
question. The building is quite old, and a lot of people's electricals are a major problem.
Yeah.
The fire will start.
Yeah.
So one minute, I think let's see what will cause a fire. I think this is the last time we discussed that electricals have to be checked in everybody's So first we should do that step also when we start.
That is,
That's more the process. That's important.
yes.
This issue is pending from 2015.
Every
In 2018, she has raised it and it is pending for us.
Electrical audit is necessary once in 3 years. It's necessary. See, what happens is, the cause of fire will be basically power factor. If I can have your attention, the cause of fire, electrical fire, can be power factor. Now, what is this power factor? As mentioned in that this power factor is an ideal electrical power, and with the electrical power required to work. Now you have certain amount of power which comes in, and from the distribution board, the electrical power is being used by various equipment. Now what happens? The electrical power factor should be 1. If it's more than 1, that means more power is being is being used, and that heats up the electrical wires, and as a result of short circuit, you have fire. So short circuit is a common cause of fire in electrical equipment. So for that, of course, you have fire safety, electrical safety devices. You have fuse, you have circuit breakers, which has to be maintained very often. You have to see, because these things get carbon deposits on them. So when the contactors get carbon deposits, it will work a bit late because the sensitivity decreases. So maintenance of electrical equipment is important.
But that each individual flat owner should be on his own, right?
Yes, in the flat, in their own. Yeah, and in the meter room, common, you can ask your electrician to get it done at least once in 2 months or 3 months. He can use a CTC liquid, that is carbon tetrachloride liquid, to clean these carbon deposits. He can use that.
Can we get smaller ones like this?
Yes, you get a 1 kg, 2 kg extinguisher, which you can use it for your kitchen, yes. You can use the same thing.
When the fire takes place,
Ah.
how do we shift the cars in time?
So you should have your key pool out here, so that the security is able to. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
How long does it last?
I beg your pardon?
This extinguisher, how long?
The life of this extinguisher is at least 15 years.
No. When you start spraying the fire,
Ah.
In how much time the material gets over?
Exhausted.
One extinguisher.
This is about 4 kg. 5 kg. This is a 5 kg cylinder. It's got 5 kg worth of powder.
Duration in time.
How much time it takes? I don't think I measured it, but you'll find out. You'll find out.
How long will it last to spray?
While you start spraying, like
You can spray it. If you leave it, then you can spray it again. If it continuously, say about 5 minutes. But the power is much. You'll just realize just now. If you can have a small fire, एक छोटा सा आग मिले लगा सकते हो किधर? Small bonfire. You'll come to know how effective this is. Because without that fire, you'll realize the force it has. It immediately extinguishes the fire. Yeah. It's they are operating from the top floor. You see the floor number. There's a floor number. From which floor you operate the fire alarm, the number will come there. Why don't somebody go up and operate some? Just get a feel of using this. Sir, why don't somebody go up and operate it? Somebody from your side.
Acha, you go up. Hold on. You go up and operate the system.
Now this is not necessary only for fire. If there is some burglary or something, that you can use that also for any unwanted people who comes in. You can use this for that also. See, in your building, we are conducting preventive maintenance every month. We start the pump, we test the pressures in the hydrant system, we check these extinguishers are pressure tested once in a year. Fire, class A, class B, class C. Class A is fire involving combustible material. A material which emits carbon. It can be wood, and then it can be cloth, anything which has got solid form. Class B is petroleum, liquid fire, and class C is electrical fire. So this can be used for all three fires. So I'll discuss this thing. See, this extinguisher is very important. It has two layers. It's a double layered extinguisher. Inside also there is a layer. And because of the chemical contents, there is chance of pitting, chemical reaction with the metal sheet. So due to the pitting, what happens is the internal metallic surface gets eroded, right? And the outside surface will show it's okay. But while using the extinguisher, the pressure which is developed is about 210 pounds per square inch. And at that pressure, the extinguisher can rupture and it can harm the people. So what we do is, we carry out pressure testing once every year. It is mandatory for your safety. And after we carry out the pressure testing, there is a certificate which guarantees your operation, your safety, to use these extinguishers. Manager. Which certifies the extinguisher's safety. In case some accident takes place, it is the person who certifies will be responsible. And this is the pressures, at what pressure it has been carried out. It is a gas company certificate. Just circulate. Let them have a look at it. Clothes, yeah. Yes, yes. I'll tell you. Good question. If the clothes is on fire, the tendency, the tendency, if you use the fire extinguisher as it is, it will not help you. The person will still sustain burns. Now what happens is, when the clothes is on fire, the fire tends to rise. So what we do is, we lie down and we start rolling, and then you can use the extinguisher.
Is it not better to put a blanket or something?
You can use a blanket, yes, you can. But then, but the first step is to lie down and put a blanket.
You wet the blanket and put it down on here.
Not necessary. You can put the blanket like this also.
While you're waiting for someone else, while you're waiting for somebody else to roll.
Yeah.
Yourself, don't wait.
Floor, there is a floor also you can use to sprinkle floor on the bathroom body. Floor.
Flower, yeah. Yes. How did you know this? Yeah. But that is rare, like, you, it's where, that's the reason, firefighting, if you keep on practicing, you will still get ideas. There are many ideas how you can sort out this fire. In fact, I'll speak to you about bomb. You'll be surprised that you can use explosives to extinguish fire. There is a person called Red Adder. There was a fire in Kuwait oil fields. It went on for more than 3-4 years. The entire petroleum tank was on fire. Nobody could put off that fire, because the heat was so much that you could not go near it. So this guy, Red Adder, he got an idea. What he did is, he placed explosive all over, and and he put this big protective spray around and he operated the explosive. When the explosive gave way, the entire flame splat into small bits and the fire was put off. What happens is, when there is an explosion, there is vacuum in that area. That's the reason you get that that sound. There is always a vacuum. Now for this, with this type of technology, today you have fireballs. Must have heard of fireballs. This can be used in an electric meter room and all. Just place it above. If the fire, the ball will explode and fire is extinguished. So there are many equipments which are there, which you can use.
Should we install a fireball in
It's not, it's, fireball will really call about 1500 rupees or so. So that's a very good thing. It acts as an alarm system also. When there is heat, it explodes and it puts off the fire.
distributing one fireball to each flat?
Flats is not necessary, sir.
Supposing something is there, somebody panics, just throw the fire there and you just...
Fireball is not necessary for flats. Your small extinguishers, 1 kg, yeah, that's it.
Then who maintains the extinguisher?
Those are maintenance-free extinguishers. They are use and throw type. Like these extinguishers, they have to be used and the life, that will cost you about 1050 or something. No, not that expensive. Slowly, आराम से.
दोनों साइड घूम के दिखाओ ना, दोनों साइड घूम के
और थोड़ा है.
अभी कोई मेंबर को दो ना, कोई मेंबर को हाथ में दो.
या
तू कर पहले कर वो वाला आगे का वो भी गया
So time is not relevant. The thing is that it's very powerful. It immediately. No, yeah, that can be recharged.
Now it's used only.
Huh.
Now do we have to give it back for refill?
Yeah, it has to be refilled. No, no, we'll use it. No, we'll use it.
now again fire will put
No, without fire we can try. Without fire.
Hold it like this.
Yeah, Javed, bata. If you can't hold it, you can keep it on the ground and then you can do it. Yeah, that is better. That is better. Yes, that is better. Yeah, press it.
अरे वाह नीचे नीचे की तरफ ग्राउंड की तरफ वेरी गुड
You don't do this, you don't do that. You remember to put your thumb like this because you need this hand for this.
come on Penny come on shoot it अरे very good come on धागा रख दे come on everybody shoot very good
Finish this off or what?
Left is closed, right open is slow. Then as you want the pressure more, keep on then if you want wider, you take it wider.
But that will be only for the short while.
That's how this operates. Try it out. I'm giving it to you. Hold it here so that you get a full. You can turn it off. Pump is on the 12th floor. On the clearance, you do that time. Now let's run out and out. This man is gone for the week. You have to know how how's that pump put on?
which will fire pump.
प्रेशर आ रहा है, प्रेशर पहले कम था।
Anybody else? कितना ऊपर जा रहा है?
ऊपर 2 माला 3 माला किधर तक जाएगा दिखा दे, बस खाली माला दिखा दे।
2 माला।
2 पे गया, 2 पे नहीं गया, अभी देखते हैं 2 पे गया। 2 होएगा तो 3 माला जाएगा।
दूर जा